Okay, guys, I'm so excited. My name is Alicia, and I'm the founder of The Vortex. Think of it as the funnel of alignment. We shape your brand presence and the story around it so it accurately reflects the value you bring. We use graphic and motion design, media, and strategic access to align how you show up with who you are so people trust you, rally around you, and back you. We're here to position you to win. I'm also your host, and I'm so excited to sponsor this episode of The Table and introduce today's guest, Jayci Trujillo. Jayci is the founder of Happy Girl Marketing, where she and her team provide positive and vibrant social media help for all. She recently moved here from Texas, and I am so excited to sit down with her today. Please join me in warmly welcoming her to the show.
Jayci Trujillo, welcome to the table. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I'm so excited to have you too. So can we talk a little bit about what you do? I know that you're new to the area. You just moved to Champaign from Texas. So maybe start with that. Yeah, absolutely. So we just moved here to the Champaign-Urbana area about 6 weeks ago from El Paso, Texas. So number one, we're getting used to the weather. It's much colder.
Yeah.
Than we're used to in El Paso for sure. But we moved for my husband's job. He works at the university. And then that's actually where I started Happy Girl Marketing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so where were you before that?
Oh, before that, we were in Portales,
Okay.
New Mexico,
Okay.
which is a college town on the eastern border of New Mexico. And it's where we went to school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys meet at school?
We did. We met at a
Oh,
football game at a
really?
tailgate. Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. That's so fun.
Yeah. It was sweet. It was sweet.
Okay, so tell me about your marketing business.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we need to even go back even just a little further.
Yeah.
I studied business and marketing in college.
Okay.
Loved it. And I wanted to work in social media.
Okay.
But, handful of years ago, it wasn't as prevalent as it is now.
Right.
And so the more traditional route was to get a job in corporate and work in their marketing department. So that's what I did. I went to school for business. I got that corporate job right after. And I was very lonely working from home. So my husband would go to work all day and I'd be at home with my corporate job, just kind of like hoodie working,
Yeah.
all of the things. And I told my friend, like, I really want a creative outlet. And she said, oh my gosh, I have this friend who runs a marketing company. Let me see if she's hiring interns. And she was. And so she took a chance on me. We had never met. The only connection that we had had was through we were in the same sorority at the same school, but at different times. And so she took a flyer and we started to intern for her, literally $12 an hour, doing a couple graphics a month. It was very small, but I loved it. And I started to absorb literally everything that I could from her, all the knowledge, everything I could learn. I just spent hours and hours and hours. And so after a couple years, I was like, I think that I could start a business. I think that this is definitely something that I could do. And so I started to kind of freelance on the side with my own clients to gain confidence and just more experience until I realized, oh, I absolutely can do this.
Yeah.
And so I made the decision that once I was making enough freelancing to replace my corporate income, I would leave. And so that happened in February of 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been
recently-
almost 2 years.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So yeah, that's kind of how it all started.
That's so impressive. Was there a part of you that was like a little bit terrified to do this?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How did you get over that fear?
I think the number one thing that I was scared of was like the unknown.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like how to start a business 101, but everyone is so unique. Yeah. And just kind of the experiences are different. What you're selling is different all across the board. And so I really just leaned into, like, I had experience and I put time and effort into it. And I wasn't selling something that was fake or phony. I knew that what I was selling and providing was a service that had value to business owners. And that's honestly what gave me the confidence to continue to learn and recognize that, like, business is one of those things that you're continuously learning about. It's not, okay, I did it. I'm an expert. Every instance is bringing new knowledge.
What is the biggest thing you learned this year with business?
I think hiring is my number one thing I learned this year. I grew my team to, I have 3 girls that work under me. We have our director of accounts and then 2 account managers, and just learning how to navigate, one, a remote team, but secondly, a team.
Yeah.
I didn't have a ton of leadership experience in corporate because I was only there for a handful of years. And so I had to learn, how to communicate things differently, ensuring that boundaries are met not only for myself, but for my team members. And so that reflects into client work. And all of those things was just such a big learning experience this year.
So when did you know it was time to hire?
I hired pretty fast.
Yeah.
I kind of came to a point where I was maxed out hours in the day doing client work and had to make the decision. I either hire to get some of the client work off my plate so that I can continue to grow, or this is just where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
I can't grow any further because there's not enough hours in the day. So I kind of sat with that decision for a long time and decided, no, I think I want to continue to grow and add value in other ways while I have a team member also contributing to that client.
Yeah.
And so I started with just one hire who they were making graphics. I was still doing the copywriting and all of the strategy. And we slowly moved to where I do all of the strategy, but our team members do the content creation, the editing, the caption writing, and then I'm a finalizer before it goes to the client.
Gotcha. So how did you know that one of them would be a good fit? What was your thought process during that process?
I can never really say I made a couple hires that weren't the absolute best fit.
Yeah.
It took a little bit. There's a lot of things I had to realize, okay, do I delegate this? Do I not?
Yeah.
What kind of personality am I looking for? And so over the course of a handful of hires, I really refined my interview question and then started to ask for legitimate life experience. Hey, how would you handle this? A lot of people create content, but not everybody can adequately respond to an email in a tone of voice that communicates to the client. A lot of life experience. Say, hey, how would you handle this if this happened? What would you do in this instance? What about this? And I found that those types of questions were more indicative of a positive hire than maybe a skill set.
Right. Yeah. Do you also have learning opportunities for your employees?
Typically once a quarter, I will ask a Sonata survey. Is typically the best way to gather the information. But what are you wanting to learn this season? How can I invest in your learning opportunities? And so an opportunity for them when they work for Happy Girl Marketing is I will pay for you to continue your education within courses, workshops, templates, different things like that. Maybe one day we can offer some sort of higher education, like a school, university type reimbursement. But for now, it is courses, classes, different things like that for them to learn more about industry specific things that are happening right now. Instagram looks so much different now than it did 3 years ago, 5 years ago.
Do you guys only do social media or is it like everything?
We are starting to do a lot more than just social media. Yeah. I realize that business owners who come for help with social media is typically that's their first stop.
Yeah.
They know they need to get the name out, the word out about their business, about what they're doing. There's so many other pieces that positively impact your presence on social media that they either don't know about or also don't know how to break into. And so a couple of things that we're doing in 2026 is we're launching email marketing.
Okay. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm very excited. People who want to put out a weekly newsletter, even quarterly newsletters.
Yeah.
And then Pinterest management. For people who have blog posts, podcasts, different things like that, but need help getting it out to more platforms than social media.
Yeah.
And we are also doing consulting calls in 2026.
You ever teach workshops? I feel like you should.
I've taught a couple workshops.
Yeah.
One or two. Nothing crazy. I do think it's definitely of interest to me.
Yeah.
I would love to expand my experience with public speaking.
Yes.
I think public speaking online, seems like public speaking, but really it's just you talking to your phone and getting over exposure therapy.
Yeah.
But in person, talking in front of people is definitely a skill that I want to expand on.
What has kept you going when things were not working out?
Oh, yeah. I think something that keeps me going is knowing that I'm adding value to other businesses. People who are also running a business, I invest in different people that add value to me, and that when I'm feeling low or unmotivated, I can rely on those investments that I've made, whether it's coaches or service providers that are working alongside me, knowing that I'm that person for other people as well. So when they're not feeling creative or not feeling inspired, leaning on me to really take the lead to help them. Yeah, social media, the value that brings me is instrumental. I think the biggest impact is knowing that they can show up confidently in whatever way they want to on social media, and they don't have to focus on the sales authority value add kind of aspect to social media. They can show up and talk about what they want to talk about in a way that's positive for them and land the more strategic sales side of socials to us.
Okay, the sales side of socials. Talk about that a little bit more. You guys do lead generation, right?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of our clients are service providers where a majority of their sales are happening through Instagram or through the online kind of network. And so somebody comes into your space, they inquire, they want to know more about it. It takes a lot of effort to talk in your DMs all day long to people. For our lead gen clients, we go out and we source leads. So we'll come up with a list of people. It's so important. And we say like, hey, these 50 people are people in your target audience that we feel like would really value from the service that you're offering. And we start to intentionally engage with them on social media.
Okay. Wow. That is a huge value. That takes so much legwork out of the process for a business owner.
It takes so much time off of somebody's plate where they can truly step into creating more offers or more work that they want to work on versus spending all the time in Instagram DMs.
When I saw that you offered that, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know anyone else who does this. What moment in your journey changed you the most? Was there a JC before and a JC after?
I feel like there's been a couple. I think the first is when I left my full-time job.
Okay.
And it was, oh, I'm responsible for my income.
Yep.
The harder I work, the more money I make. The less I work, the less money I make. It was a direct correlation.
Yeah.
And that was really motivating. I would say the next is when I went through a coaching program that really just helped me recognize that I was adding value and that selling is not bad. Being in business, like you are there to make money and you are there to add value. You're not there to give away free advice, anything for free. If anything for free, you don't want to. And so that was insanely helpful to just recognize that me showing up every day and talking about what I have to offer is not bad or annoying or cringy or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then I would say the third is when I hired my first employee. So I've had contractors, but I recently hired my first employee in September. So she's a W-2 employee and I'm completely responsible for her income as well. And that's a whole nother level of motivating to make sure that I bring in clients, one for revenue, but two that are aligned, that are going to stick with us because I have somebody else's livelihood to watch over, essentially.
Yeah, that's a big responsibility.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is there anything that you have had to learn the hard way? Is there a story behind that?
Let's see. I think hiring with intentionality is huge.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily have to learn, but I've always put at the forefront of my mind is under promising and over delivering, especially when it comes to marketing.
Yeah.
Because people come in all the time. They want X amount of dollars, X amount of leads. They want all these things. I can't promise you that you will exactly make this. I can say, no, this is what we're going to do to get there. This is the strategy behind it. But I'm always under promising so I can over deliver in the end.
What's the lead magnet for your business?
Yeah, right now, the lead magnet in my business is a downloadable, kind of like a checklist walkthrough of how to build your own strategy.
Okay.
And I'm working on a lead gen freebie right now that is actually templates to help you sell on your story.
Okay.
A lot of times you get on your story, people say, sell on your story. Okay, how do I do that?
Right.
And so templates and guidelines to help you kind of walk through creating your first handful of selling stories. So it gets a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah. So those actionable steps.
Yeah. So those are the two freebies. Other than that, I show up on Instagram every single day.
You do. I love it so much.
Thank you. Whether it's on my feed or in stories, or even on threads, having conversations with people, letting people know what I have to offer, the value I bring. And then also just showing like true, genuine personality. Like the person that you're getting on Instagram, on my Instagram stories, is the same exact person you're going to get if we go out to lunch.
Yeah.
It's the same person.
What is one thing that you wish that someone would have told you when you were starting out?
So many things.
So many things. I mean, we can go through the list.
I wish somebody would have told me that sometimes you're gonna like not want to show up. And the most important thing that you can do for yourself is build the muscle of showing up for yourself and for your business. Because there are days that I wake up and I don't want to talk about social media management. I really don't. But I do because it's a muscle that I've built. It's a skill that I've really crafted. And it's something that I do every single day because of the muscle that I've built. And so I wish somebody would have told me that like at some point your motivation is going to be fleeting. There's going to be periods of time in your business where you don't want to do it, but the discipline that you've built for growing your business and selling and posting on social media, whatever that might be, is much more impactful than the motivation that you have.
I feel like a lot of people have it categorized incorrectly. Like it's pushed through, like disregard for like your self-care. Do you think that discipline is more about your identity? Like this is who I am and this is what I do?
I listened to a webinar, it was probably 2 years ago now, talking about your minimum, finding the minimum that you can do for your business every day. Whether you want to or you don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, I'm going to post on social media, I'm going to reach out to 5 leads, I'm going to write a newsletter. It could be, I'm going to do one thing for my business every day, and that's your minimum. And so you get to choose that, right? I mean, you get to choose, is your minimum you post a story, or is your minimum, maybe 5 other things, whatever it is for you. It fits into your lifestyle, it fits into your personality type, quite frankly, and it fits into how you naturally conduct your life.
Got it.
That was incredibly helpful in just reframing kind of the discipline aspect, because my discipline is going to look so much different than yours or anybody else's. And just because mine looks a certain way doesn't mean you have to do as much or as little as I do. You can do whatever kind of fits into your minimum.
Yeah.
And because then you can add on top of that, right?
Yeah.
When you do that one thing for, 21 days builds a habit.
Yeah.
So you do it for 21 days.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you add another piece. Now, there's so many leadership books that you can read that quantify that. And so I think Atomic Habits by James Clear, it's not necessarily a leadership book, but it's a self-development book that talks about habit stacking.
Yes.
And so you do one thing and then, okay, so every day you brush your teeth, and then right after you brush your teeth, you put your running shoes on, or whatever it is for you.
Yeah.
You can apply that in your business. And so every morning, once I sit down with my coffee, I post my Instagram stories. Okay, now that I'm done with Instagram stories, I go check my email, or whatever it is for you.
Right.
Habit stacking, and then building that momentum, because pretty soon you'll wake up and you won't want to have your coffee without posting your Instagram story.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
They're linked at that point. Yeah. No, I have read that book. It's excellent.
Yeah.
So good. Are there any other books that you would recommend for maybe someone starting out in their business, or someone who's even like trying to build those habits?
I think Atomic Habits is great. Try to think of other, I read so many books.
You read a lot too.
I read a lot of books.
I love that. Okay.
And I read a lot when I was first starting.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I think some, you kind of have to filter through the
what's not going to work for you. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I had my list in front of me of all the best books I've read. I think if you're a young business owner, The Defining Decade is incredible.
Ooh.
It talks about your 20s being really the defining decade for your life.
Interesting.
And I loved it. I read it. I want to say I was 21 when I read it.
Okay. The Defining Decade.
Yeah.
I saw an Instagram post recently, and it was just like, the next 5 years are going to define your life. I was like, oh, that's so true. Well,
Yeah.
The last question that I have for you that I ask absolutely everybody is, how do you define success in a way that you think most people would probably disagree with?
Oh my gosh. Success to me is being able to show up as your authentic self.
Yeah.
Being able to show up with your personality. It's such a privilege. And to me, that's such a sign of success, that you can show up wholeheartedly as yourself. You don't have to pretend to be anybody else. You don't have to pretend to like something you don't. You genuinely get to show up who you are as you are. And that's such a big indicator of success for me.
So this open, grounded confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that so much. This has been so great. Thank you. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.